recorded here from my very messy studio. I've just moved across Europe to the UK and my house is a complete mess. So as soon as I get a chance, I will fix it up and show you guys a little tour of my tiny new studio. But I am here because I have some very exciting news to share with you guys. So it's August already, which means that GrannySquareDay is just around the corner, and this year it's very special because I get to be one of the ambassadors for Simply Crochet magazine. There's 5 of us and there's some really talented people, and I'm very honored that they've asked me to be one of the ambassadors. And this means 2 things. The first one is that I get to share with you guys a granny square that I've designed especially for this occasion. I think it's very pretty and I'm definitely going to use it for loads of things. And also I get to encourage you all to make your square and share it on Instagram. So if you don't know about GrannySquareDay, it happens every year on August 15th. And basically what happens is that crocheters from all around the world get together and make something together, right? So we make this digital blanket. I know it sounds weird, but basically you tag your square, and then when you look at that hashtag, all the squares come together and they make a digital blanket. So for this, what you need to do is make a granny square or 100 granny squares. Just make sure that each square in your feed covers the whole granny square, so that there's no edges around the granny square. And then use the hashtag GrannySquareDay 2020 to tag your granny squares. However, if you're going to use your square to make something like a purse or a blanket or something like that, use a different hashtag so that our blanket is a perfect squares everywhere. Okay, so for that we are going to use Granny Square Makes 2020. Okay, I'm putting the hashtags over here for you. So it's GrannySquareDay 2020 for your squares and Granny Square Makes 2020. Okay, so don't forget to use the correct hashtags. Now for my square, I'm going to do a little bit of a crochet along. So on the next 4 days, I will give you a little snippet of the pattern. So today is day 1 and I will give you the first 3 rows of my square. So what you need for my square is 3 or 4 colors. You can also make it with 1 color or with 2 colors, but I use loads of colors. So I made one with 5 different colors, and this one that I'm going to show you guys has 4 colors. And any yarn is okay. Just remember that the finer that you go, the smaller your square will be. The thicker you go, the bigger it will be. And a hook that matches your yarn. So I will use this fingering yarn, cotton, mostly because this is what I have in the house, and I'm using my 4mm hook, which I'm just doing it because I love this hook and it matches my yarn pretty well. So yes, I am using these 4 colors for this square that I will show you. So yeah, you need 4 or 5 colors, 3 colors, 2 colors will do, as many as you want. A crochet hook of the size of your yarn, and some scissors and a needle to weave in the ends, because with many colors come many ends. And before we get started, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so now so that you don't miss out on the next few days of instructions for the square. And also because I have a podcast and I release a few tutorials from time to time. So please do subscribe so that you are part of it and you don't miss out on anything. Alright, so let's get started. This is day 1 and this is the first 3 rows of my square. Here we go. Alright, so I will start my square with this dusty pink color. And what I need to do is start with a magic circle. So if you don't know how to make one, this is how I make mine. So I take the tail in these 2 fingers and then I wrap the yarn around my other 2 fingers, cross over, and then put it up top. Alright, let me show you again. So I wrap it around, cross over, wrap it at the top, and then I hold it there. And I insert my hook through the first loop, pass it over, and then I take my live yarn and I chain. And that one I will tighten so that it's easier. to work on it. Okay, so I'll show you again. I know this can be a bit confusing, but I'm sure you guys can figure it out. So take my yarn in my fingers, then this one I wrap it around, make sure it crosses over, and then it goes over here. I like to hold it so that it stays in place. Then put my hook in through the first loop, then yarn over the second loop and pass it over, turn around, and then grab that live yarn and pull through. Okay, and that is my magic circle. Then I will work 16 stitches, 16 single crochets onto my magic circle. So I simply work here, 1, 2. So if you see, I am working on both strands of yarn. I'm wrapping them in my stitch. Okay, sorry, there's a hair. Okay, so I will make 16 single crochets. Okay, so these are my 16 single crochets in my magic circle. Then this strand, the tail, I will pull it to close my circle. I'll take a hook. I kind of hold on to it and pull on the tail, just like that. And that closes my circle. Now that my circle is closed, I will slip stitch on the first stitch to close my round. So there is my first stitch. I find it, I slip stitch into it. Oopsie. It's a bit hard sometimes to find that first stitch because when you tighten it, the loop, the magic circle, that first stitch can get a bit tight as well. And then I pull to make this join invisible. And that's it. That's my first row. Now row 2 says single crochet in next stitch and then chain 3. So first I will chain 1 and then tighten that one. This keeps the join invisible. All right, and then I will single crochet in the first one, chain 3, skip the first stitch, or skip the next stitch, sorry, and single crochet in the next one, and repeat. Skip 1, 2, 3, skip the next one, single crochet. Okay, I skip the last stitch and then I will slip stitch on the first stitch to close the round. There you go. Again, I tighten to make that join invisible. So now I should have like a little flower with 8 rounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 chain 3 loops. And then I fasten off and cut. So this is my first 2 rows. And I am finished with my first color. All right, then for my next row, I will use this light peachy pink. And what I will do is that I will attach my yarn to one of these chain 3 loops. So for that, I will insert my hook through the loop, pull the yarn through. Then I will yarn over both strands, the tail and the live yarn, and pull through. And I pull it out a little bit so that when I pull my live yarn, it's easy to identify the tail. So you see how the tail pulls? I pull the tail through and I keep the live yarn just there, right? And then I tighten this first chain so that it's nice and even. All right, and then what we will do after I have attached my yarn, I'm going to chain 1, then single crochet, half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1 half double crochet, and 1 single crochet, all on the same loop. So let's start then. So single crochet, then half double, then 3 doubles, 1, 2, and 3. Then 1 half double and 1 single crochet. Okay, so I will repeat these 7 stitches on each loop. So let's try that again. So single crochet is just like that, and then a half double crochet, I yarn over my yarn, then I pull through, and then I yarn over again, and I pull through all 3 loops, then double crochet, yarn over, pull through. I have 3 loops on the hook, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So I do 3 double crochets, then 1 half double crochet again, and then 1 single crochet. And then I will repeat this until I have done all the loops. Okay, now that I've done all 8 loops, I will slip stitch on the first stitch, not the first chain. Remember, that chain never counts as a stitch. On the first stitch, then I pull, and then I fast enough and cut. That's it. These are the first 3 rounds of my granny square. All right, I hope you've enjoyed them.